I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTrackGear.com, and we're here today to talk about what separates Arai from its competition. So I'm watching the 2018 Daytona 200. My man, Valentin the Beast on M4 X-Star Suzuki team. He's getting it done. He's sitting on the pole. He's running the fastest laps of the race right up until this. Here's the clip of Valentin's crash. I had the opportunity to talk to M4 X-Star Suzuki team owner Chris Ulrich about the crash. The data showed that Valentin was traveling at 134 miles an hour when his rear tire crossed over the paint line, lost traction, and sent him into that wicked high side. He had so much altitude when he came off of that bike, it looked more like a tryout for SpaceX than a motorcycle crash. If you watch the impact, he ends up coming around. It looks like his butt hits the ground first, and then the next thing is his head. And that was a brutal impact. That right there is the very reason we wear motorcycle helmets each and every time we go out. The reality is, you need to dress for the party just in case you get invited. Certainly nobody's going out there and crashing intentionally, but you need to be prepared for it. It's important to know Valentin came out of this relatively uninjured, okay? He's going to be back racing with M4 X-Star Suzuki in just a few weeks, and I'm sure right back up the front getting it done because that is his style. The reasons why he was able to escape that without serious injury, well, they're simple, okay? Proper safety gear. It really starts with this helmet. You get a head injury, a closed head injury, that changes your life, okay? So you could argue this is the most important piece of safety gear. And we can move on from there, okay? The suit, the gloves, the boots. His fitness level certainly is a contributing factor. His experience as a rider, that's going to contribute a little bit too. And then let's not forget to give good fortune some credit. On this table in front of me right now, these are all mine. These are all my helmets with the exception of one on the end. That's my son Max's, okay? This is an RX-7. I crashed in this one at Jennings GP a long time ago. We're going to show you a little clip of the date code here. The build date on this helmet was 11 of 2001. The next model is the Corsair evolution of this. Then we have a Corsair B evolution of that. We have the Corsair X. We'll slide this one in, a little Vector 2. Look at the similarities here. Okay, when I looked at this, you know, even as a motorcycle rider, as an industry retailer, I looked at this, and to me it almost looked like a lack of forward progress. You see the other big names out there, and they make good products too, for sure. All this evolution, these sexy shapes changing all the time, so aerodynamic, all these ridges and lengths, and man, they're eye-catching. And a lot of those companies do a great job of promoting that new version, as you should. You're proud of it, you should promote it. Arai, from model to model, made very small changes. And quite honestly, I don't think they did a very good job at all of explaining to people, because I didn't even really understand it, why they weren't evolving the way other people were. So I took the time to really dive into this and investigate, because you know what I wanted to know, and some of the relationships that I have in the industry too, they encourage me, you need to take a look at this. Here's why, because we get in arguments over which helmets are the best. So I had a meeting with Tomo Abe, managing director of Arai Helmets, and we got right to it. Quite simply, the shape of the helmet is the heart and soul of everything that Arai does. That round shape, all the vents that you see here, the diffusers, those are just held on with two-sided tape. In a crash, they'll knock right off. If you have all those big ridges, right, those sexy ridges, you're doing a few different things. One is you're creating an area where that can catch, can tweak your neck, more likely to catch in a slide. The round shape is stronger, more likely to promote a slide versus create a tumble. And also look at this. The helmet itself is built in the organic shape of the human head. Arai works hard to maintain a relatively uniform thickness, okay, at all points. They believe that is the right path, the safest helmet, right? Now think about this too. When you look at all this, and this isn't the first helmet they've ever built, but these are all so similar. all of the data that they've accumulated over the years, crash data, performance data, aerodynamics, all those things, it is relevant as it translates from that model, remember, date code 2001, to this Nike 6 Corsair X. So they're able to continue to refine the design using all of that data and information, and that's really where the magic is at. Having a test rig, having a Snell cert, having an ECE cert, those things are awesome. That's a great place to start when testing how a helmet can manage impact. But a motorcycle crash and an impact with a test rig, those are two different things. There's so many variables in that motorcycle crash that you can't plan that it's going to strike here, or it's going to strike here. You can't. It happens the way it happens. So when they build these helmets, okay, they're not just building it to pass a Snell test. They're building it to protect the person that wears it at the highest level using everything they have learned over all of these years. And that is pretty powerful stuff. And that makes a whole hell of a lot of sense why they're not willing to just change the shape. Tomo's exact words were, if we were to come out with a brand new super sexy shape following the other people, we would not be able to leverage any of that data. We would not know how it would perform in the real world. His exact words were, we will not use our customers as guinea pigs for a new design. I think it's important to say that I'm not being paid by Arai to do this, okay? There's no sponsorship here to do this. I just believe that this is an interesting story. And if you're shopping for that next high-end motorcycle helmet, honestly, I believe you need to know this because it's going to help you pick the helmet that is right for you. Are Arai helmets perfect? Well, no product is perfect. I mean, okay, let's talk about the Arai shield changing. You go back to this old RX-7 model, and I got to tell you, it was like Da Vinci's Code trying to change the shield. If you knew how to change the shield on this helmet really well, you'd be the most popular person in the paddock, the most popular person in your riding group. They've addressed that over the years, right? Moving forward, the one on the Corsair X, this one's a lot easier to change. So they are not perfect. No one's perfect, but that focus that they have, they wake up every morning with a singular goal of trying to build what they believe is the best motorcycle helmet in the world. The company is family owned and operated, based in Japan. All manufacturing is done right there in Japan by craftsmen that have multiple years of experience and are proud to be part of that family working towards building what they all believe are the best motorcycle helmets in the world. They're not guided by a board of directors that is owned by an investment bank that sets these lofty goals of growth every year, and here's your multi-million-dollar target. You figure out how the hell you're going to get there. Their focus is simply building what they believe is the best motorcycle helmet in the world. That is the most important thing to them, and I think that speaks volumes because you don't see much of that anymore today. That is just the reality of it. When you look at the Arai helmet catalog, their full-face helmets, their entry-level helmet, which I have right here in front of me, this is my little buddy Max's helmet, Vector 2, retails like $600, entry-level. Now look at some of the other big brands, and they do have some great high-end helmets, but boy, a lot of them, they have entry-level stuff that starts $200, maybe even under. Think about this for a minute. Let's say Arai decides to just totally compromise everything they believe in, and it's all about the money, and they go build in another country. $200 Nicky Hayden Arai helmets, man. Those things would sell as fast as fresh donuts would from a bakery located right next to a police department, okay? But they don't do it. They won't do it. Very unique company, uncompromising. You gotta respect it. You gotta love it. I think this is a good story. This is all true. Like, this isn't paid. This is an endorsement, man. Do I want to? Sure, I want to sell you a helmet. That's what I do. But I want to sell you the right helmet. I want you to be really happy with it, for sure. If you have your own personal Arai story, leave in the comments of this video. I answer all of those comments. I respond to all that myself. I'd love to share that stuff with you. If you got something you want to say positive, say it. Something you want to say negative, criticize, no problem. I got thick skin. I'm here for that too. And I know my shirt is for sure too tight.